Well, in this lecture, we want to talk about the World Regional Geography research paper assigned for this class, Regional Geography and Me. You should have already picked your place and had it approved by your instructor. Your paper should be double-spaced and have 5 sources for the written part of your paper, and sources should be recent within the last 5 years. Your sources can be from printed materials or credible internet sources. You must cite your sources in the body of your paper after each fact that you present. You are encouraged to use photographs and maps, but they're not required, and they don't count towards the 5 pages required for the paper. You can use word count in your word processor to help you understand how closely you've met the assignment requirements. It should be about 1,000 words for 5 pages. If you use a larger than a 12-point font, you will need more than 5 pages. You need to include the sections for the environment and location, regions, world systems, economy, exports and imports, politics, people, population, religion, and you. In the assignment PDF file that's posted in the contents section of our Blackboard website, each of these subjects is discussed in detail to make sure that you understand the things you need to include. And I'm just simply scrolling through this portion of the assignment from the document that describes the requirements for the paper. Some additional notes: the format of any electronic documents can be either a Word document or PDF. If your paper does not have enough pages or is not long enough, you'll lose 10 points per page that you are short. If you do not cover all sections, you will lose 5 points per missing section. Your paper should have good spelling and grammar. You'll lose 5 points per page for spelling and grammatical errors. If you do not cite your sources, you will only receive half credit. So you would have scored 30 out of 50, you'd only receive 15 points. If your sources are not cited correctly, you will lose 5 points per incorrect source. I have a couple of websites listed in this document to help you properly assemble your work citations. And of course, if your work is plagiarized, you'll receive no points, and you have to be reported for cheating. And of course, in this day and age, I can simply cut and paste sections of your paper into a web search browser and get pretty direct information. So I want this to be your work. I want you to have done the research and present your information with proper support. That's the whole purpose of this paper. This is an introductory course, and as such, my expectations from your paper are primarily that you try to meet the various requirements, which I believe are well defined in this document. This paper is significant in terms of your grade. It represents 1/4 of your class grade. One of the reasons I have you write a paper instead of giving additional tests is that I know that everyone doesn't do well on tests, and some people often can make up for that difference by their good quality of writing. Normally, a academic paper doesn't provide for personal references. However, since the subject of this paper is geography and me, and I do want you to include in the paper why you chose this particular location and why it's important to you, that's acceptable in this case. I want you to have the opportunity to practice and improve your writing skills, and that's another reason why I have you write this paper. Always assume that the reader does not know everything you know from your research, and be thorough in your descriptions as you discuss the subjects of your paper. Make sure your paper, of course, is long enough and meets the required length. Facts that are not common knowledge and which are not your own work have to be cited. Stay focused on the region being discussed. Make sure that you discuss the particular region that you have chosen for your paper and don't venture far from that. I also wanted to discuss 12 common errors and try and help you avoid these errors. I posted a document that is in the content section that is part of the assignment to help you understand what these 12 common errors are and help you avoid them. Try to avoid sentence fragments. This document called the 12 common errors that is in our content section describes each of these common errors and shows examples of correct and revised ways to deal with these problems. Sentence sprawl. Try to avoid sentence sprawl. Misplaced and dangling modifiers. Once again, try to use proper grammar and use your best writing skills. Faulty parallelism. Make sure you use grammatically equal sentence elements to express two or more matching ideas or a series or items in a series. Use clear pronoun reference. Make sure that as you use pronouns that it's clear which noun you're referring to in your sentences. Pronoun agreement. Make sure that each pronoun agrees with the number, singular or plural, with the noun to which it refers. Incorrect pronoun case. Determine whether the pronoun is being used as a subject, object, or possessive in the sentence and select the pronoun form to match. Use commas. Don't omit commas that are required to make sense of your description that you're trying to provide. Use commas to signal non-restrictive or non-essential materials to prevent confusion and indicate relationships among ideas and sentence parts. And there's some good examples here. Superfluous commas make unnecessary commas make sentences very difficult to read, as does stuttering when you're trying to make a presentation. Comma splice. Don't link two independent clauses with a comma unless you also use a coordinating conjunction, and, or, but, for, nor, yet so, etc. Instead, use a period or a semicolon or try rewriting the sentence. Apostrophe errors. Apostrophes indicate possessive or contractions, but not plurals. There are some exceptions to these, but make sure that you use correct apostrophes in your writing. And be careful of words that are easily confused. Affect and affect are very commonly misused, and that's a good example. So be careful as you write. Make sure you reread your sentence. Make sure you reread your paper, and perhaps after you write it, put it down, come back to it later on and try reading it again to make sure that you've communicated the ideas that you're trying to communicate. I'll be looking forward to reading your papers, and I hope you all do your best. Our due date for the papers are coming due soon, and I expect you to be on time and turn them in according to the schedule for this class. Thanks, and I'll talk to you again soon.